Joe Hopkins here, and today I'm talking about kit guitars because I've built a kit or two in my day, right? And I thought maybe I'd share a little bit about it, why you should build a kit, or maybe why you shouldn't bother. And that depends on the person, really. Do you want to learn more about your guitar? Do you want to more or less build a guitar? That's what it is. One nice thing about learning to build a guitar from a kit is all the pieces come with you knowing ahead of time that they'll fit. Right? There are places you can buy various guitar parts from, but you got to make sure you're getting a neck that'll fit the body and the right pickups for, the instrument that you're building. Now, generally, pickup wise, it's usually either humbucker size or single coil size pickups. And that's not a big, it's not that hard to figure out, but, there's wiring. You can buy pre-wired wiring harnesses that come with everything already done up. And then, you still got to solder in the pickups unless you get them from a company who, sells the wiring and pickups and has little plugs. Like Guitar Fetish has their quick plug pickups. You buy quick plug wiring and quick plug pickups and there's no soldering. But in general, if you buy a kit, everything's it's going to fit. Right? Everything fits right. And one of the benefits to building a kit is, well, I'm going to go over a couple of kits here. One of the benefits is you learn a lot about your guitar. You learn how to set up a guitar. You learn how everything works, because you have to put it together. You have to set it up. It's as good as you're going to make it. How good it is up to you to a degree, right? As long as you get something with good parts. Now this, like I said, I'm going to show a couple different kits. This is the first guitar kit I got, right? This is my Harley Benton DC kit. DC for dual cut, right? It's SG style guitar. This came out really well. I spent a lot of time on it, made sure the body was pretty well sanded. There's a, couple of bumps here and there. Did the paint myself. That's another nice thing. It's the color you want it to be, right? I wanted a yellow SG. They sell those. I've seen those more now, but at the time, whatever. I got a yellow paint that's used for, I got a surplus store. It's for heavy equipment and school buses and that kind of stuff. So it's spray paint, right? I like it. I didn't put on a clear coat or anything. I just put a couple coats of the yellow paint. I love this guitar. It's a lot of fun. I like playing it. It sounds good. See, I'll even play a little bit for you. Yeah. See, whenever you build a kit, you have obviously the option, like with any other guitar, you can upgrade stuff. It seems a lot less daunting to upgrade a kit because you put it together in the first place, right? When you buy a guitar, you sometimes it's like, do I really want to replace stuff? I bought a whole guitar, I paid for it. With the kit, it costs a lot less, and it's a little, I don't know, psychologically, you're more likely to actually do the upgrades. Now, in this case, I didn't. I have a tendency to just keep the stuff that comes with things, but the Harley Benton pickups sound good. The Harley Benton hardware is pretty good. If I was going to upgrade anything, maybe I'd upgrade the tuners. They're solidly decent. They work just fine. They're just, I wouldn't mind having better tuners. The electronics on it is all fine, and I like the way it sounds. I initially thought I'll probably upgrade the pickups, and then I never did because I like it. I like the way it sounds, so keeping it sounding like that. Now, like I said, I'm going to show some other guitars here. Now that one, the Harley Benton, I spent a lot of time on. It came out as well as I could make it come out. This isn't one of those cheap Amazon kits, right? I don't know how much I'd recommend one of these, considering that is not the quality of the Harley Benton kit. They're not exactly a lot cheaper than the Harley Benton kit. I like the V, and you know, the paint job, my kid helped me with this. Me and my daughter painted this together. So I got, you know, white spray paint, and I got like the neon acrylic paints. Fun project to do with your kid, right? She got to help paint it. She helped Daddy paint the guitar. Now with this one isn't as good. I really like it. The pickups are kind of, especially on a clean channel, are kind of thin and tinny sounding. And initially I was thinking I'm going to replace them, but then I found, I noticed when I'm mixing, a lot of times I'll record the guitar parts, and certain guitar parts I end up thinning them out because I want a thinner sound. And I thought, you know, I'll keep this for when I want a thinner sound. Now I'm hoping it's still in tune. I tuned these up, and then I have a kid and I have pets, and they come back and knock into things, and I don't always know that something isn't in tune anymore. But anyway, maybe it'll still be in tune. But with this, I wouldn't mind replacing the electronics. Sometimes the neck pickup doesn't work. I got fiddle with stuff, and this jack, the input jack, isn't that great. The plug kind of gets stuck. I think that's the problem with the neck pickup is the input jack. It's just not. I should replace that, and at some point I probably will. No, that's not true. I'll mean to, and then never get around to it. But anyway, personally, I like the way it feels. What's interesting, this has kind of a wide neck on it. You know what I mean? I used to play classical guitar, and it's not quite as wide as a classical, but it's wider than you're used to on an electric guitar, but sometimes that's a good thing. So anyway, you can see it. It doesn't. I don't think it sounds as good as the Harley Benton. Yeah, you get the idea. It's a little bit of a thinner sound, right? I wouldn't mind replacing these pickups, but like I said, sometimes I want a thinner sound, and honestly, this isn't my favorite guitar to play. You can see V-shaped guitars, they work a lot better with a strap. When you're sitting down, you're trying to figure out do I hold it this way? Do I kind of hold it, you know, how do you hold it? Usually you end up just doing that, crooking it on your leg there. I like the fact that the output jack is on the front. I've seen some where it's on the inside of the arm, and that makes it hard to hold like this. This guitar mostly, though, it's a fun project I did with my kid. If I wanted it to be better, it wouldn't be that hard to do. You know what I mean? It's as good as you want to make it. However, if between the two, I'd recommend the Harley Benton, just because the parts are better. This was a better quality thing. When you're upgrading it, there's less you have to upgrade. The Harley Benton simply has better electronics, better sounding pickups. There's less that you need to upgrade. Now, the last one I'm not going to plug in and play because I never really finished it, and that's this one. This was a Christmas present from my cousin. One of those, again, it's one of those cheap, oh, this got dust on it, Jesus Christ. I haven't really done much with it in a while, so it's a little dusty. Anyway, my cousin bought it for me. It's one of those cheap Amazon, cheap Amazon kits. Dual neck. This could be an awesome guitar. Except I made a couple of mistakes right off the bat. First of all, both the other kits, the body didn't take much sanding, especially the Harley Benton. It was pretty smooth right off the bat. So I just kind of thought, okay, that's, you know, it's mostly fine right off the bat. I didn't really sand this enough, and it's rough. It feels rough. So it's a little, when you're playing, like, it feels like sandpaper on your arm. I should have sanded it better. That's on me, right? I could have made this better. I love the color. right? This was just spray paint I got. I don't know how well it's showing because it's dusty as hell because I never use it. This is mostly wall art at the moment. I don't know if I would recommend these. I think they still sell them on Amazon. If you see these, woof. Yeah, this was a pain in the ass to put together. The electronics, you really got to make sure it's right. It didn't come with wiring instructions, which the Harley Benton one came with excellent diagrams, right? You knew exactly what to do. That V guitar did not, but it's just 2 pickups, volume, tone. That's not hard to figure out. This is 2 volumes, 2 tones, 3 switches, and 4 humbucker pickups. This is a lot of wiring considering there's no diagram. It's a pain in the ass. This, plain and simple, nothing is labeled. It made it a serious pain in the ass. Another reason I wouldn't recommend these is I've got the 6-string neck kind of playable, and the 12-string neck isn't even close. I could, take the time to do the adjustments and all. I haven't had time, and since the body was just so rough, I'm probably never going to use this. It's why it's not plugged in, because this is just, it works, but, and it sounds okay, but it would just take so much work to make it just a playable guitar. I'm not saying any of the parts are bad, but this was a pain in the ass to put together and a pain in the ass to get right. And like I said, I should have done more sanding on it, but this would have taken a lot of sanding, right? The other 2 kits, just minimal. This was, yeah, not the best, not the best kit. How good a kit is can make a difference, right? I could make this much better, and I've no intentions of doing it. It's cumbersome. Even the necks are kind of like, they're a little rough, right? They shouldn't be. They don't, none of this really feels right. How good it comes out is up to you. It's also really helps if it's a good kit. This I would not recommend. This everything works, but yeah, unless you want to put a lot of work into getting it decent, and I don't think it'll ever be great. It'll just be decent. This one, if you get one cheap, it can be fun, right? Those Amazon kits, I don't entirely recommend them. If you're going to get a kit guitar, if you're going to get a decent kit, right? I love the Harley Benton kits. I've heard good things about the Leo James kits. I haven't tried one, but I do love the Harley Benton kits, mostly because it doesn't take much sanding. There's just 1 or 2 little spots you got to smooth out. And everything on it is good and goes together well. And like I said, it came with instructions. That helps. When something doesn't come with instructions, somebody that's used to doing this stuff like me, it's not a big deal. After I've done a kit or 2, this one, not having instructions, wasn't a big deal. 1 volume, 1 tone, a 3-way switch, and 2 humbuckers. It's not that hard for me to figure out. For some of you out there that are more like just starting out with this, it might be more difficult. And a monstrosity like this that doesn't come with instructions is just plain and simple setting you up for failure. I'm pretty used to doing this kind of stuff, and it strained my brain a bit keeping track of all this shit. Especially since it was a pre-wired harness, right? And it's got the pickups with the plugs, which is all supposed to make it easy, but when nothing is labeled and there are no instructions, you spend half your time trying to figure out which is the neck pickup, which is the bridge pickup, and what wiring goes where. It takes a bit of thinking, and if you're not used to doing it, it's not going to come out right at all. And even for me, I put it together and realized a couple things were backward and had to take it back apart. Nothing's labeled, right? So yeah, how good a kit guitar is, part of it's up to you and part of it's up to the kit. That's why I say get a Harley Benton. Or like I said, I've heard good things about Leo James. it's worthwhile to make sure the kit you're getting is good, because that's going to really affect how good the end product is. And then spend some time on it. Really learn how to do it properly and get some fret polish. These kits, even this one, they've been setting around a while. A lot of times they've been setting in a box in a warehouse for a good while, so stuff needs polished and cleaned up a little bit, which isn't a big deal, right? But learning how to set up a guitar, you have to set it up. It's a kit. You put it together. You do all the stuff yourself. And that can be a lot of fun and very educational. Yeah, I'm mostly doing this video to give you guys an idea. If you want to do a kit, try to get a good brand name one, not one of those no brand ones from Amazon. Because yeah, I like my V guitar, but if I had never, if that was my first kit, I don't think it would have gone as easily. You know what I mean? If I've never messed around with guitars or guitar wiring before. Once you're used to it, that's not a big deal. Get something decent. Do not get this. Like I said, that was a gift, and I think it looks great. It does. It looks really cool. I stick it in the corner and look at it all the time. Yeah, that would take way too much work to make it playable, to make it like really a decent playable guitar. But there are brand name kits out there. I recommend the Harley Benton just because this was easy. This was a breeze. This was my first kit, and I had messed around with guitar wiring a little bit before I got this, but I was still pretty much a novice at this point. Yeah, I got this years and years ago, and I was pretty much a novice, and it was easy. I opened up the instruction booklet, followed the instructions. That was it. Which I like. I really do appreciate that. Much better than the Amazon or eBay kits. Like I said, I've noticed Leo James sells kits, and it'd be worth checking out. In fact, if before I bother checking it out, maybe one of you guys has, leave a comment. Tell me, are the Leo James kits any good? Because they look good. The other place I'd go to for building a guitar would be guitarfetish.com. I mentioned they got pickups, so they also sell bodies and necks and, wiring harnesses and parts and all the stuff, right? Which means I don't think they have like a pre-assembled kit. Maybe they do now. They didn't before. I need to look again. But in the very least, they have all the parts. So if you know what parts you need, and it's not hard. Look at the guitar, right? You need a body, you need a neck, tuners, tailpiece, bridge, wiring harness, maybe a pick guard if it doesn't come with the body, that kind of thing, pickups. That's about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, Guitar Fetish has necks and bodies and pre-wired stuff, right? And I like the fact that they have their quick plug pickups, which are the pickups with a plug, like you get with various kits, that, you know what I mean? Which makes it easy. You don't have to solder. And the pre-done wiring harnesses, just make sure you get quick plug harness, quick plug pickups, and that they're the right pickups for the body you're buying. But yeah, try doing a kit guitar, but make sure to get a good guitar. Remember, once you get a good kit, it's up to you how good the guitar is going to be, and it's a nice learning experience. It's also nice that kits like this was 80 couple bucks when I bought it, right? Kit guitars are not expensive. They're usually at the most 150 bucks, and that's for like some of the more expensive ones, which means it's affordable to learn on, to try it out. If it gets messed up, you're not out a lot of money. You're not out a ton. Even if you mess it up, it's totally your fault. You screwed the whole thing up. You're not out a lot. And you get to learn as you go. And you get a totally custom guitar. Like this. So I picked the color. Or like a project with your kid. We painted this, I think she was like 6. 7, something like that. And it was just fun to let my kid paint the thing. You know what I mean? And I did a little bit of painting too, but it was nice to let her do it. It's a fun thing, fun memory you'll have with your kid, and not terribly expensive. And maybe someday your kid will want to play it too. So there you go. Try out a kit guitar. Just don't get one of the no brand ones. I personally have not had much luck with those, and I think it's just because they're not very good. And don't be too ambitious. This is maybe not, like I said, not what you should start out on. And if you get a no-name brand one, even if you've done it before, probably not going to be what you want. So yeah, hope some of that was helpful. And here at the end of the video, some playlists come up. You should check them out. I got guitar reviews where I review a bunch of different guitars, including these ones here that I was just showing you. And there's a playlist that says I Didn't Get a Memory. That's my album. You should check it out. And there's also links to streaming below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I love y'all. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.